Brian O'Connell, Ted Valentine, and Mike Stewart are officials. And we're underway with Louisville in visiting black with the red trim, controlling the tip, and the follow slam is there for Mango Mathiang. What an emphatic start for the Cardinals here at Gamble.
Mathiang's the guy that took over for Jang, but the bottom line is he's a developing player. Any production they get offensively is a positive from him. And
Louisville goes right into the zone to begin the game. DeAndre Daniels, 6'9" junior from Los Angeles, shooting 48% from beyond the arc.
They're going to be tough to zone, Dan. They're one of the better perimeter three-point shooting teams in America.
They're in the top 10 in the country in three-point percentage, and Daniels is coming off a 23-point effort his last time out as Russ Smith, the All-America candidate, puts Louisville back on top.
Well, I really believe it's going to be tough for Croma to stay in front of him. He is so quick with the bounce and his explosiveness to the goal. There's the zone.
And Kevin Ollie said at shoot-around today, no matter who is guarding him, it's going to be a tough effort to slow down Smith, a team effort rather, to slow down Smith as Daniels misses the jumper. Mathiang misses the reverse alley-oop.
Nice pass by Hancock, who's healthy right now.
Yep. And an Achilles problem, didn't practice for a long time, really coming on. Boatwright misses the three, long rebound down to Smith. Smith with a nice look ahead to Rozier, the freshman. Can't finish, and it's Connecticut ball.
They believe that Rozier is going to be a really solid player, better than just average. Look at that drive right to the goal. The left hand lays it up, and there is the jam on the foul. Nobody blocks out. The blockout situation is a joke in college basketball.
Screened by Amita Brima, who last week had a terrific game. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocks. Another three. This time it's Croma from the corner. Second three already for the Huskies.
You know, Croma in the last game went 5 for 5 against Memphis on the road.
What a win that was Thursday night for UConn.
Yeah, special win.
No basket. There was a whistle and a foul. Tough to hear the whistle in this kind of an environment. Here's Lasan Croma. He's as we mentioned, a grad student, 3 years, over 1,000 points, double-figure score at GW.
They're trying to take away that rule. They don't think that maybe players should get a waiver to be able to play immediately for any reason. They put it on hold at the convention down in San Diego.
Napier the foul, his first, something to keep an eye on. Smith, off-balance floater. Mathiang has it, lost it. Harrell is there, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
Nice strong play on the inside by Harrell. Last year they were getting those kind of plays from Shane Mahanan, who's no longer part of the team. Was a physical force, especially in the Final Four. Take a look right here. There's a little floater in the lane. There's the good offensive rebound. He bounces to the deck. Ball comes loose. He picks it up, gets the conversion.
And you got to wonder who UConn has. Daniels has given up about 40 pounds in the matchup with Montrezl Harrell. Harrell on any given night he doesn't do it consistently, but he's got the talent to put up 20 and 10 on any given night.
Well, the bottom line is they're going to find a way to get some production inside Connecticut.
Croma, nice look to Daniels. He knew he missed it way long with the air ball.
They really pushed the ball up the court in Louisville. A lot of quickness.
And again, Rozier getting the start. Chris Jones out with an injury. Rozier turns it over. Croma!
I tell you what, Croma's been very impressive here. Graduate, George Washington, as you said, Dan, was recruited by Carl Hobbs at George Washington. Now an associate coach here to Kevin Ollie. So he joins his buddy, Mr. Hobbs.
Hollywood, the student section, in honor of head coach Kevin Ollie. You visited before the game. Not an easy job to come in here and replace the likes of Jim Calhoun, but Kevin Ollie did it with dignity and class last year in a tough situation. They couldn't go to the postseason. He had to wait a while to get a contract that really made him the permanent, the full-time head coach. But there's a good vibe around this program.
Absolutely. You know, this guy here, he knows how tough it is to get a contract. He worked for one. He played on one-year contracts in the NBA for 13 years. 13 years. He had many one-year deals.
Played for 11 different teams. He was all about defense and heart and winning. Smith, boy, you don't have to give him much room, and he'll get to the basket.
You know, I think Rick Pitino's got to be very happy seeing the early play of Smith. He's having no problem whatsoever beating his guy off the bounce.
And one of the things that UConn talked about was he loves to get inside, but then they like to kick it out for threes. So they wanted to make Smith make tough layups rather than kick it out for threes. And so far, he's making those layups. And we've got a reach-in foul on Luke Hancock.
Take a look at the All-American and my first-team All-American team. Right here, goes right down the lane. I mean, no one rotates over. Where's the help defense? You got to go to the ball. The ball is the most important thing on the floor. You got to find the basketball and help your teammate out.
Outstanding numbers for Smith. Shooting better, more assists, a better assist-to-turnover ratio than comparable numbers from last year.
He's going to really have to elevate his game tonight without Chris Jones available. Jones is their third leading scorer and made some big plays and handled the ball really effectively.
Napier looking to get untracked. He'll launch a three. Almost got a very lucky bounce off the backboard, but back come the Cardinals looking for the lead. They're pushing it again. Smith has it taken away. Harrell with the finish.
Harrell inside. He's got to give a lot more point production, especially with the loss of Mahannon. You know, you look at the two contrasting teams. You look at a team, for example, when you look at Louisville, one of the leaders in transition points. On the other side, you look at Connecticut does a great job usually in defensive transition.
Chroma misses a three. Harrell down with a rebound. Louisville doing a great job getting the ball to the basket so far. All 5 of their field goals, Dick, are in the paint. Again, a ball screen for Smith.
Got to use those ball screens very effectively.
Hancock's pass knocked away.
He telegraphed it.
Here's Boatwright. Behind the back to Daniels, who can't finish the slam.
Oh, he'd have brought the house down. There's that pump fake. He does that as well as anybody in America, Hancock.
And Harrell steps into a 16-footer. What a sequence that was.
Nice unselfish play by Hancock. Rather than force the shot, he finds Harrell. And if Harrell makes that shot, he becomes a real star.
So a 4-point lead for Louisville, less than 5 minutes into the game, and they're back in the zone.
Staying in that zone. Got to get in the gaps and seams of it. Right by the foul line area, it's wide open. Somebody's got to slide right in that 3-second area.
And it's Daniels looking to get inside. Napier thinking about it. Doing more than that and hitting it.
Rick Pitino told me, no doubt you'll see both these guards at the next level. Napier, think about it, Dan. I talked about it earlier. He's the only player in America to lead his team in scoring, rebound, assists, steals, and minutes played.
Incredible numbers for both Napier and Russ Smith. 2 All-America candidates this year. We'll have an over-the-back foul on Mathiang to take us to the first media timeout of the night. And we wouldn't be doing our jobs right if we didn't show you this attempt on the break by UConn. Daniels, everything but the finish.
Wow.
And welcome back to Stores, Connecticut, a part of My Home Court Week. And Gamble Pavilion is a special place here, not a big place, but a place with a lot of atmosphere and a place that has seen some great basketball over the years. Of course, led by Jim Calhoun, the men's team. The men's program has won 3 national championships and had a phenomenal 1-loss record over the years. And then you look at what Gino Auriemma and the women have done, winning 8 national championships, 292 and 19, outrageously good, and they're #1 and unbeaten again this year. The combination of the men's and women's programs here as good as it gets in America.
They're coming off an incredible win, the women's team. They beat Baylor. Baylor had a 69-game win streak. Went down there and beat them in double figures. Gino's done an amazing job. I mean, really one of the greatest jobs ever done in intercollegiate athletics, what he's done with this program. Richard Deitch from Sports Illustrated sent me a tweet the other day. Said, put them down, unbeaten. They will be unbeaten. Wow.
Niels Gaffey into the game with the ball for UConn. Lost it on the way up. And it's out of bounds to Louisville, and I think they're going to overturn this.
Kenny Valentine
it looked like it did hit the body of a Louisville player and bounce out of bounds. And so coming over to help with the call is Mike Stewart, and they get it right.
Good bit of officiating, getting together, the 3 of them.
It's right, right there. Hit the arm, actually, the outstretched arm of Wayne Blackshear. And deflected out of bounds. So Blackshear, as you mentioned, 23 off the bench in his last game, in for Louisville. Gaffey, who can really shoot it from outside this year, he is at 56% on 3-pointers, 22 for 39.
Bottom line is he's got to get some more looks because he's a flat-out automatic almost. He's
Nolan into the game as well.
He's one of the 3 guys returning from their championship team.
Boatwright turns it over. Key #1 for UConn, according to Kevin Ollie. Great rejection by Nolan. Was not to turn it over because that will happen at the other end.
Haven't really been a factor on the inside. Originally committed to Virginia Tech, to our buddy Seth Greenberg. When Seth was let go down there, he decided to go elsewhere, and the beneficiary has been Mr. Pitino.
Second foul on DeAndre Daniels. That is a major, major loss for Connecticut as he sits down. Tyler Olander will take his place.
You know, Olander is one of those guys that started almost every game the year they won the national title. So you're bringing in an experienced player.
But this is an unusual lineup right now. Napier's on the bench, so it's Boatwright and Omar Calhoun in the backcourt, and then Olander, Giffey, and Nolan up front for Connecticut.
You know, Calhoun averaged 11 points a game last year, started almost every game. Bottom line is he has struggled his last few games.
Has not made shots.
I guess that's called struggling. You don't make shots.
Tim Henderson is checked in for Louisville. He'll get some minutes because they're thin in the backcourt with the injury to Jones. And there's a foul on Steven Van Treese.
Talking about making shots. Henderson made two of the biggest shots in Louisville's year last year, winning the national title. They were on the ropes against Wichita State. And by the way, Rick Pitino told us today, they are definitely a Goliath basketball team. They won again today.
Wichita State, you're talking about.
Still undefeated. Yeah. But Henderson made two big threes. They were in trouble in that game.
He was a walk-on at that point. They just put him on scholarship second semester of this year when a scholarship was freed up. So you had a walk-on making two threes that might have saved their season and helped them win a national championship.
I agree with you, Dan. He really did.
And Giffey bumps Blackshear.
How about all the kids out there? Notice when a Louisville kid catches the basketball, how they immediately go into triple threat position where you can drive, shoot, or pass. And they use that pump fake so well because this guy is a teacher. The other day he was floating on cloud nine. The writer Tim Sullivan told me when he was listening to his son's game against Ohio State.
Got a pretty good team.
Yeah, I believe they've only lost 4 games.
Yeah, a pretty good team in what's been a great league so far. Saw Michigan pick up a huge road win at Wisconsin today. We'll see the Wolverines 1 week from tonight. Our next game day game in East Lansing against Michigan State.
That's a special place down there. I think they get the best guard combo in America.
Nice cut by Giffey. Nice pass by Olander.
Well, he did a great job moving without the basketball. One of the lost arts of many players. The toughest guy to stop is a guy that's in motion. Out of intensity, you can feel it sitting there courtside. You can feel the intensity, the passion, the pride these kids are playing with.
Smith with a shot fake and draws another foul. But we've seen Louisville do that 5 or 6 times. Shot fake to try to get by somebody or draw a foul. Big Monday presented by Verizon. It comes your way 48 hours from now. It begins with North Carolina. They picked up their first conference win today at home against BC. They will take on Virginia. And then Baylor and Kansas. Interesting matchup at 9 Eastern. Both games also live on Watch ESPN.
Well, you and I are going down there for Kansas and Baylor. That's going to be interesting down in Waco. I said it before the season, even though when everybody was bragging about Oklahoma State and all the teams, you got to go through Lawrence to win the Big 12.
Anderson out. Hancock is back into the game and now for Louisville.
I think the biggest shock score today, you mentioned a big win by Michigan. I think the shock to me is Northwestern going to Bloomington, Indiana, Chris Collins, and getting a win over the Hoosiers.
All kinds of action, and you can hear more about it after the game and on SportsCenter tonight. A busy, crazy Saturday in college basketball with conference play now in full swing.
Look at that quickness. Really quick, playing with a heavy heart. Boatwright.
Now, Ryan Boatwright, his cousin Aaron Williams, was shot and killed Monday back in their hometown of Aurora, Illinois. A cousin who he says was more like a brother. Nolan has it rejected. And Harrell runs down the loose ball. Harrell's been very active so far tonight. Crowd wanted a foul call.
So far, the inside game of Louisville has got the edge over Connecticut.
Blackshear drains a 3.
He made 5 threes the other night. They made 15 as a team against Houston. I think maybe this is going to really help him where he doesn't get into foul trouble early like he's been getting those 2 quick fouls when he started, and he's been sitting next to Rick Pitino.
And Kevin Ollie will use a timeout. So each coach has used a timeout in the first 8:03 of this game. You mentioned 15 threes in their last game at a Blackshear. When he gets hot, he can really stroke it.
There he is, squaring up his body, getting the good look. Key is to catch the ball at the right time, square your body, get the shoulders to the rim. Great job right there, good execution.
They were 11 for 15 in the first half against Houston. It wound up 15 for 28. And between the points they get off turnovers, if they can make threes, well, they're almost unbeatable when they score in both of those ways in the same game.
You know how you can't look at scores, because you look at scores, you go nuts. Louisville beats Houston by 39. Houston had Connecticut down 21 before Connecticut made a late run and lost by 4.
Connecticut lost its first 2 games in conference play, both on the road at Houston and SMU. How about the job Larry Brown's doing at
Phenomenal.
SMU?
Well, what did Rick Pitino say today? Doing an amazing job. He's in the 70s club. I root for all the guys in the 70s club.
Because you're in the 70s club.
Well, when a guy in the 70s club makes a mistake, they say he's old and senile. When a guy makes a mistake who's young like you and vibrant, they say he's not focused, he's not concentrating. Give me a break.
Who else is in your 70s club?
Right.
He's probably in the 70s
guys. We got a bunch of them. Digger, we got Bob Knight. I mean, we got them all. Lou Holtz. It goes on and on. We're going to be in the 90s club. That's the key. Getting to the 90s club.
Napier back into the game for Connecticut. A little choking pressure there by Louisville.
Tough to pressure their guards with such quickness. I love the versatility of Napier. He would be on my list if I picked the top 10 players in America thus far.
Anton Gill in for the first time for Louisville. Again, he is getting some minutes because they're thin due to the injury to Chris Jones. Nolan loses it out of bounds. And the officials conferring this. We still don't know who they're going to give the ball to. They will give it to Louisville to take us to a media timeout. Louisville leading by 6. When we come back, Shannon Spake will be in conversation with Hall of Fame coach Jim Calhoun courtside here at Gamble Pavilion. Home court week here on the ESPN family of networks, and we're taking a look at Gamble Pavilion tonight, which opened back in 1990. The first game here, January 27th, 1990, and Connecticut picks up a win in their first game here against St. John's. One of the many memorable moments in the Hall of Fame career of Jim Calhoun, who went on to win 3 national championships as head coach of the UConn Huskies. A 14-point win in the first ever game in this building just about 24 years ago. Coach Calhoun is with Shannon Spake.
Well, Dan, I think that this man right here still has one of the best seats in the house, right here at the end of the court. For a person who hasn't been to this pavilion, to this location, what makes this place so special?
Students. You know, the kids were here tonight. I was walking by to do a function before the game, 3 hours. There was thousands of them outside, chanting and chanting. And, you know, we're right in the middle of campus, unusual a little bit. And this place, we beat St. John's in 1990 in March 12th. And from that date on, it's been a really special arena.
You know, I've been watching you during the few minutes that we played, and you're pretty calm. What are the emotions for you during the game?
5 of my former players are assistants, and the head coaches for my former players. So I'm excited about them. I love the atmosphere, and I just want us to rebound a little bit right now.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Ollie. He has played for several head coaches, but he told me yesterday that you are the coach that helped him become a man. So what is it like to now watch him lead this team?
Well, he's pretty special. I mean, Kevin's a great young guy. He's done a great job with his basketball team, and you know we've got great recruit signs. We're going to be very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan?
Shannon, thank you. Once a coach, always a coach. He's happy to be here. He loves the students, and he just wants them to rebound a little bit more.
I'll tell you one thing, he doesn't pay for a seat either. 3 national titles. What a great move by Hancock without the basketball.
And the lead has grown to 8, and UConn turns it over. So it was Louisville scuffling early, but UConn ever since as Napier knocks the ball out of bounds.
You know the difference between a good year and a great year is winning close games. You look at UConn, 1 over Maryland, 2 over Boston College, 1 over Indiana, 1 over Florida, 5 over Harvard. I mean, they lose by 2 to Stanford, they lost by 4 to Houston. Incredible close games they've been involved in.
They're without one of their key players right now. DeAndre Daniels went out a couple of minutes ago with his 2nd foul. Rozier over Boatwright. Olander had it, and it's off a leg, and a long loose ball bounces out to Hancock, and the Cardinals have a fresh 35. Blackshear around and out. Harrell with the offensive rebound.
Jim Calhoun's right. The rebounding is really hurting them on the inside. Offensive rebounding. They're getting up on the glass. when you look at Louisville.
We saw that earlier today where Syracuse got dominated on the offensive glass by Pittsburgh, but somehow had a late run in them just enough to win 59-55. Olander with a rebound and a putback.
Well, the experience of Olander gets them that score. You mentioned that Syracuse-Pitt game. Pitt defends really well. Got a great player when you talk about certainly Patterson, but the difference at the end was Ennis. Two incredible drives to the goal.
And the freshman also made a couple of key free throws. He made all the plays down the stretch as Syracuse remained unbeaten. Got some Super Tuesday action coming your way here on ESPN. It begins at 7 Eastern. Indiana and Michigan State. Big week for Michigan State. They play Indiana Tuesday and then Michigan, where we'll see them 1 week from tonight. And then Kentucky hosting Texas A&M. Both games also available live on Watch ESPN.
Well, John Calipari is becoming an expert teaching free throw shooting. His team today to beat Tennessee went 23 for 24 on the line.
Hancock guarding Napier. Napier baseline, kicks it out to Boatwright. Now Mathiang is on Napier.
Doing a lot of switching. Great fake. Great fake to get that score in the lane. He made a clutch shot to beat the Gators of Florida. A very good Florida basketball team. That if they would free Walker down there, the NCAA, and stop procrastinating, that'd even be better.
Napier better than 16 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds a game as well.
What doesn't he do? He leads them in minutes played as well.
Smith the miss. Olander giving Kevin Ollie good minutes off the bench.
What do you expect that for him? Started on a national championship team. They've already needed the man-to-man right now. Back in the zone. They're back in that zone.
It's Smith on Napier now.
Well, they're actually zoning up.
Yeah, you're right. Smith in the vicinity of Napier. Forgive me, you're right. Gafai's open.
That's automatic. That's like a layup for him. That's like a layup. What'd you say earlier? He's shooting like 57%?
56% on the year. He is now 23 out of 40 from beyond the arc on the season.
They got to get many more shots. Get it free.
Played for the German national team in the summer at the age of 19. Good ball movement. And the finish for Harrell, the assist to Hancock.
You know, Harrell gets the score, but you know what created that opportunity? The ball fake. The ball fake really created a shot fake, ball fake, whatever you want to call that. He does that so well. I think he does that better than anybody in America.
What a start for Harrell. As you can see, 11 points and 5 rebounds already. Boatwright behind the back, puts the brakes on. Good help by Mathiang. Boatwright tries it again.
That zone's doing a great job keeping away their driving ability.
So Boatwright will launch a 3.
Normally a very good shooting team. The perimeter game has usually been there. Positive.
Pass is deflected out of bounds. It will stay with Louisville when we come back. UConn has gotten back within 3. And Shabazz Napier right in the middle of it, as he always seems to be. You love this fake.
There's Shabazz. Great fake. In traffic, gets the score. And Gafai does what he does really well. Shoots the trifecta. Nothing but nylon, baby.
Thank you, and back here at the Gamble Pavilion along with Shannon Spake as well. It's a good game between Louisville and Connecticut, an intense affair in a wild environment of the visiting Cardinals really looking for their first signature win. Maybe that's an overused phrase, but they're 0-3 against ranked teams. They're 15-0 against unranked teams. They haven't really beaten a big name opponent so far this year.
You beat me to the punch again, because I was going to simply say, when you look at their resume, where are their quality wins? And the one thing, the American Athletic right now will not give you many opportunities to get those big-time wins. So you better take advantage if you play a Memphis or Cincinnati or Connecticut.
They lost at home to Memphis last week. This is their first game with Connecticut. They've yet to play Cincinnati, so they will have opportunities. How about the Bearcats 6-0 in league play?
Unbelievable. They've really made great strides from the beginning of the season, McCronin's team.
Picked up a win today at South Florida.
Hey, you and I have not seen Louisville win. Don't tell Rick Pitino that. We had him against Louisville.
We had him against North Carolina.
Louisville,
North Carolina.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Trying to think, we had him in Memphis, and they lost also to Kentucky.
You're worried if they lose tonight, he won't let us do any other games anymore?
Unbelievable.
Harrell, 17-footer. What a night so far. Montrezl Harrell, 13 points and 5 rebounds already.
Sound like a rock star. Oh, what a night. Let me give us a little rendition.
Daniels remains on the bench. Amita Brima's back into the game for Connecticut. He hasn't played much and hasn't really been very noticeable when he's been in there so far.
He had 20 great minutes against Central Florida. Unbelievable. Put 20 points on the board.
8 rebounds, 5 blocks as well. And he is, at this point of his development, Dick, much further along at the defensive end than the offensive end. They don't expect 20 points out of him.
No, he's a real good shot blocker.
Boatwright spins. Napier's got to take it. And Giffey with the offensive rebound. Boy, Giffey and Olander have both been really, really important tonight for UConn.
And 2 experienced players. Those are the kind of minutes you need out of guys like that. We call them blenders.
Haven't seen Chroma in a while. Haven't seen Daniels in a long time. Louisville stays in the 2-3 zone. Giffey on the inside. And left it way short. You wonder if he might have gotten hit on the elbow or something.
Well, he did. He signaled I got hit. Good job defensively getting back. They only allow like 12 points in defensive transition. Connecticut. Louisville scores like 18.7 in transition. One of the leaders.
Blackshear into Mathieu. And it's UConn ball. There's the 7-footer Brima, who is from Ghana, just his 4th year of organized basketball. He is all arms and legs, and you can see why he can be a force blocking shots.
Yeah, he's going to get better and better with more experience. Only playing basketball about 4 years. They've had some great shot blockers here. When you think about Okafor, you think about Tabi.
Yep. They're in the top 10 of the country this year. There was a stretch under Jim Calhoun where they led the nation year after year. Chroma's back into the game for the Huskies. Well, you're right. This Louisville zone is keeping Boatwright and Napier out of the lane.
Yeah, keeping them from penetrating. Yep. They have great, superb quickness. They want to get in the lane. Good job staying in front of them. Smith did a great job right there defensively.
And he forces the turnover. Napier says it was out off Smith, but the ball is going to the Cardinals.
You'd love to see the 2 guys go head-to-head. Little one-on-one matchup. We saw that with Jackson and Smith with a matchup with Memphis.
A lot of great guards in this league. Louisville, of course, this is their only year in the American Conference. They're off to the ACC next year.
What an addition they will be. Smith trying to penetrate, trying to find a gap.
Mathieu whips a pass, and Harrell's called for the travel.
He took an extra step. Gets away with that if he was in the NBA, but not getting away with that in college. Louisville doing a good job not allowing Connecticut to get transition layups. Had one great opportunity and he missed the slam. Daniels.
And can Connecticut keep it close this half without Daniels and get him back in the second half? There's a little bit of penetration, and Boatwright draws the foul. He is not afraid to go in there with the big fellas, and there's Daniels, who's been sitting for about 9 minutes now since he picked up his second foul.
Talked to him before the game. I met him down at IMG Academy where he was getting prepped, and really a nice kid, very quiet kind of kid, but he really a guy with an upside, great talent. Can't teach many of the things he can do. His range, he's athletic, he's explosive.
First free throw attempt of the night for Connecticut.
That's because the zone is negating any foul opportunity, taking away the driving ability. And that's a plus in today's day and age with the fouls being called. Reducing the number of times your opponent could go to the line is a major plus.
Another new face in for UConn. Kevin Ollie going deeper into his bench. Number 12, Kenton Facey, who's a 6'9" freshman, has played a total of 57 minutes in 10 games on the season. Olander to the bench.
He's an active player. They're looking for some size inside. See, when you got guard play with Napier and the guys like Boatwright, you got a chance. They're going to keep you in games. They're going to keep you around, and you hope to pull them out at the end.
Blackshear. Offensive rebound, Smith. Defended by Napier. Kicks it past to Blackshear. Another shot fake. Steps in. Leaves it short. Gets it back and finishes. They are crushing UConn on the glass.
What a tremendous job by Blackshear. No one put a body on him. He gets an open lane to the goal, and he gets the offensive rebound.
7 offensive rebounds already for Louisville in this game.
That means you're playing aggressive basketball. It's one of the trademarks of being aggressive. Block shots, deflect the basketball, create steal opportunities. That's the zone. So you're not going to foul in that zone. They play that zone. They keep you in front of them all the time.
And as you said earlier, you wouldn't think you could zone this team that well because UConn shoots it so well, but it's been effective. Boatwright with a tough shot. Reimer runs it down, but then he traveled. Couldn't stop his momentum soon enough. So we'll step aside with Louisville leading by 5, and Wayne Blackshear proves Dick, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
There he is right now, going to go up. Nobody puts a body on him, and there's the conversion. Kevin Ollie, a little frustrated right there. Says, hey, where's the rebounder?
Back at the Gamble where the Huskies continue to trail. Louisville with a 5-point lead on UConn, 3:36 to go. First half. Welcome back, Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale. Take a look at some big stories around the country right now. What's caught your eye?
Well, you want to look at my Dickie V views? We're going to go to my views right now. I'll tell you this, when you look at the nation right now, there's a lot of exciting things happening. I think when you look at number 1, the best conference, the Big Ten. We saw it today, the Big 12, ACC, Pac-12 in that order. You talk about Wichita State. They won by 20 today over a very balanced, good Indiana State team. You talk about my midseason player of the year. This guy has been superb. Talk about all the diaper dandies you want, but Doug McDermott is my choice as the midseason player of the year. Also, I'll throw in another view out there. I really think when you look right now at that Big Ten, best backcourt, I'm going Mr. Izzo and that backcourt of Appling and Harris. They're my special. 1
week from tonight, game day will be there. Michigan State hosting Michigan. Michigan with a big road win, a huge win at the Kohl Center, an awfully tough place to win. Count the basket, should be goaltending, and it is.
Great look by Smith for you young kids out there on the interior. Use that bounce pass, and that's what he did right there. He's a much better player than last year. There's not even any doubt whatsoever.
Much more under control. Now they don't have Siva, so his role has changed. They can't just have him as a scorer. He's got to distribute more, and he's gone from 3 assists per game last year to 5 assists per game this year. Napier, they need it, and they get it.
And that's what great players do. Make big plays when your team needs one. He is a difference maker.
Smith into traffic. That's more like the Russ Smith of last year, going 1-on-3.
Yeah, you're right. A little bit out of control right there. But what about Napier right now? Goes through the defense, going to overload against the zone, and there he is catching the ball, has a hand in his face, and it doesn't matter.
Napier with a couple of threes tonight, as we mentioned, leading UConn in scoring, assists, rebounds, steals, and Russ Smith got a seat on the bench for that ill-advised 1 against 3, and then he got a stern lecture from Rick Pitino, and I'm sure it's not the first time he's heard some of those words from his coach.
You know, you also look at Napier, leads them in minutes played.
Boatwright to Napier, over Rozier, and the rebound down to Harrell.
I think it really helped Napier the year they won the championship and practice every day. He had a battle against Kemba Walker. Kemba doing a great job with the Charlotte franchise.
And that was the from out of nowhere national championship when they roared through the Big East tournament. And then Kemba Walker led them all the way to the championship. Rozier picked up his dribble, finds Blackshear. Van Treese wasn't expecting the pass. Boatwright rejected by Harrell.
Can't get any layups in transition.
And he had a wide open Calhoun standing outside the arc. Rozier coast to coast, no.
A little bit out of control right there. Calhoun has to make a shot. He has been struggle city the last few games, and his minutes have been taken away.
That's him with the ball there, 21.
Was a great high school player in New York City, averaged 11 points a game last year. In fact, they had the top 3 scorers coming back when you looked at as a trio from the Big East.
Olander. Harrell shuts him down. Shot clock at 7. Napier. A lot of tough shots at the end of the clock for UConn, and a great box out there by Van Treese. Long pass ahead to Harrell, and he'll finish.
He did a great job making the catch right there. He was like a wide receiver making that great catch.
A 6'8", 240-pound wide receiver who's got 15 points already.
Just like Wes Welker's going to do tomorrow for Denver.
Is that your prediction?
Yeah, they can't hear me up in Boston,
no.
can they? Or they can't hear me.
Say Denver again.
Oh, wow.
Say
Denver. Peyton Manning will not
no
be
basket.
down.
Foul before the shot. Now you can picture this guy as Harrell is one heck of a tight end or a linebacker or something like that.
No, but he likes the uniform in basketball a heck of a lot better. And he's going to get a chance to play at the next level. You know, you look at Smith. What a great decision coming back to school. And that would also serve Harrell the same thing.
And he's a guy, because of his athleticism, he's on the minds of NBA scouts right now. He's creeping up draft boards.
They're all lined up right to the baseline.
Yeah.
There's a host of them here today, and they come to see you and me.
Coming up on the Mazda halftime report, a new chapter, the first ACC chapter, in a game that had a distinct Big East feel to it as Pittsburgh and Syracuse battled up at the Carrier Dome, and then a nail-biter between Oklahoma State and Kansas in the Big 12. Reese J. Jalen will have the stories, highlights, and more.
Tell you one thing, those guys do a phenomenal job putting so many hours, the game day crew.
They were at the Palestra today.
Yeah, Reese, what a quarterback.
And then came up here for the night show.
Oh,
Napier again.
Big Free. He's not disappointing, man. The great stars never disappoint. They respond. They have pride and passion. I saw last night of Billy Joel, man, the piano man. He responded. And right now, Mr. Napier's responding.
Henderson needs some help.
Don't want to pick up a dribble. That's a no-no, young kids.
Smith. Reimer got a piece, but what an active follow there by Van Treese. UConn can hold for the final shot.
Great play by Van Treese coming up with that.
Napier. And an offensive foul. No foul. Just out of bounds off Napier.
I thought he got fouled.
Louisville ball.
I thought they made contact on Napier. He's got to use his driving ability a little bit more. Don't want him to see him become a guy looking to go to the exterior and shoot perimeter jumpers.
Boy, what a potential momentum shift that is as they come up with an empty possession and then give Louisville enough time to try to make a shot.
I thought he got bumped there. I thought he definitely got bumped.
Hancock to inbound it for the Cardinals. And now they'll switch and put Henderson on the end line.
Well, you look at Connecticut played nearly the entire half without Daniels.
Yep. Hancock trying to go coast to coast.
Call a foul.
And a foul is called on Chroma.
They're going to call the foul right there, and they get away with one down on the other end on Napier. That's not being consistent. Kevin Ollie's got to look right. I mean, right here, and he's going to the basket. I don't know about blowing out this.
You reach and you swipe. Yeah, he did. He did foul. He hit him on the arm. Yeah.
Hancock did a great job creating an opportunity. What a tournament he had last year. Left the building with the gold trophy, national championship, MVP. He's an old Marco Polo guy, came from George Mason.
And the first half here at Gamble comes to a close with Louisville leading Connecticut 34-28. It was the update, the one-on-one right now. Two outstanding guards, and Russ Smith and Shabazz Napier. Napier's made 3 threes. He's out playing Smith, but Louisville's leading. Rick Pitino is with Shannon Smith.
Coach, you guys knew this UConn backcourt would be tough. How do you think you've handled them so far?
No, I think our matchup zone's confusing them, except we played great defense, but we gave up the 3 ball. Gave up, I think, 4 or 5 of them. So the defense has been great, but you can't give up the 3. So overall, I thought we did a pretty good job.
Offensively, what do you want to see from your team in the second half?
Well, they're helping, and it's okay to take the guy, but you can't go 1-on-4. You got to make sure they have to guard, because then you get them out on the break and bad things happen.
Thanks, Coach.
And that guy he was talking about was Russ Smith, who got a seat on the bench. But Louisville still got the lead at the half. They're up by 6. When we come back, Reese and the guys deliver the Mazda halftime report. Cal Shannon Spank, and it's Louisville leading Connecticut 34-28. Louisville dominating on the glass. Second chance points 11-2. The 3-pointer for Connecticut keeping them in the game. Otherwise, they'd be in real trouble right now.
Yeah, they made 6 threes, and those threes certainly have been a factor. But I think they're going too exclusive, looking for too many threes and not attacking the basket. And by not attacking the basket, they've only gotten to the free throw line twice. The bottom line is they got to get some easy points, whether it be a transition or on the free throw line. And that will happen if they utilize their speed and quickness of guys like Napier and people like Boatwright and attack instead of just satisfying shoot three.
And they'll be looking for more from DeAndre Daniels. Played only 6 minutes in the first half. Went to the bench after picking up his second foul. He's back in there to start the second half.
And even if he gets the third, I would keep him on the floor. You can't allow Louisville to get a spurt and get a double-digit lead.
Baseline drive, Chroma, low percentage pass off a leg. It stays with UConn, 17 to shoot as we check in with Shannon.
Well, before they hit the court, Shabazz Napier, he pulled his guys together and specifically pointed out the rebounding issues. Inside the locker room, Coach Ollie, he told his guys, you got to get back on zone offense quicker. He likes how they've handled Russ Smith, guys, but now their focus in the second half is Montrezl Harrell, of course, because he had so many points in that first 20 minutes.
He had 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a monster first half.
Well, I just spoke to a columnist from Louisville who said to me, hey, what about Harrell? I said, what about Harrell? He better stay in school.
Third foul on Mathiang. Brima at the line, and this is the first. And Mathiang to the bench. Van Treese back in. Harrell did almost half the scoring in the first half for Louisville and only missed 1 field goal attempt.
You know, the kid Brima, people are going to have to be patient with him. He's really a project at work, a kid with a lot of potential. You can't teach that size. He has good timing, blocking shots, but he's got to really work really hard and develop a little bit more of an offensive game.
That was his first point of the game, and it brings UConn within 5. Again, Chroma on Smith to start the second half. That was the case to begin the game.
And I thought Smith was too quick for him. Basically quick for a lot of people. Chroma's going to try to stay in front of him.
Rozier fouled before the shot by Boatwright. Terry Rozier, an important guy with Chris Jones out, the freshman from Youngstown, Ohio, 6'1", 185, averaging about 7 points per game, has been coming on, playing well in conference play. There's a rejection by Brima. Hancock staring down officials, thinking that ball was already on the way down and should have been a goaltend.
Well, that's Rick Pitino. He's politicking about it on the sideline.
Rozier, no. Chroma into the chest of Smith, and he draws the foul.
And that's exactly what I was talking about a moment ago. They got to get some easy points, whether it be a transition or whether it be a check in the rim.
Go back to the other end. In some ways, this is the toughest call in basketball. Was it on its way up? Was it on its way down? The ruling was it was a block. And maybe a cut or something sustained by Brima. You could see him grimacing on the replay we just showed of the block, and he's getting a little attention here during the free throws.
He's one of the better shot blockers in the league right now. When you look at the number of blocked shots for a young player.
Averaging almost 3 a game, and he only plays 14 minutes a game.
You multiply that towards 40 minutes, man, it comes to some big numbers. And I think his future is so bright.
So Connecticut with more made free throws in the first minute of the second half than they had in the entire first half.
And the first time they're going to show a little 1-2-2 half-court trap here. Post up.
Deflection there by Boatwright, but Louisville maintains possession.
Rozier, pretty good poise for a young guy. Averaging about 28 a game on a high school level.
Smith, too strong. Van Treese misses the follow. UConn ball.
They're in attack mode right now.
Napier, tie game.
Wide open, a wide open trifecta, and they explode here at Gamble Pavilion. Oh, what a special venue, Danny Schulman.
The presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Verizon. Verizon's 4G LTE network is 3 times larger than any other 4G LTE network.
The University of Connecticut, one of only 2 colleges in the country that offers a degree in puppet arts. We looked and looked and looked for a Dick Vitale puppet. We cannot find a Dick Vitale puppet. But you know what? If they made a Shabazz Napier puppet here, it'd be pretty popular. The way that he's playing just made his 4th 3 to tie the game as we say hello again to Shannon.
Yeah, Dan, you guys mentioned Amita Brima. His finger, his right finger, pointer finger, got some blood coming off of it. So during that last timeout, the doctors were taking a look at it and trying to get him fixed up. You saw him come off the court a little bit earlier, but obviously still out there, just a little cut.
All right, Shannon, thank you. You can see from the replay, hitting it on the corner of the backboard, it looked like, as he blocked that shot. Louisville forced to use the timeout. Rick Pitino did early in the second half. It was 34-28 at the half. It's been all UConn so far here in the second half.
Well, I think they've done a great job controlling Smith. He hasn't been able to get to the basket like he normally likes to get.
Hancock, that's a big one for Louisville. 6 points now for Hancock, and the Cardinals back in the lead.
They're so happy that he's healthy. Had that Achilles heel problem. He's back 100%.
He was hardly practicing at the beginning of the season. So far in 5 conference games, he's averaging almost 17 points per game. Daniels misses the turnaround. Rozier with a crossover to try and shake Boatwright. Now Smith.
Trying to get some help right here. There's the help in the lane.
Hancock. Not this time. Long rebound, bounces out to Rozier. And now a foul on Van Treese.
If they're going to win this game, Connecticut on their home floor right here, Daniels has to step up. He's got to start giving them some point production. He's got to rebound and utilize that great athletic ability and forget about the 2 fouls. Can't become passive when you get in foul trouble. You end up hurting your team.
Only played 6 minutes in the first half because of the foul trouble.
He's got to forget that now and really go at it. Be aggressive.
The zone throughout the night for Louisville. Chroma off to Boatwright. Still lots of time.
Well, the zone is negated. Getting to the free throw line for Connecticut.
Loose ball to Boatwright. Into a crowd. And it's Louisville ball. You got to admire Boatwright's courage going in there against a lot of big bodies, but sometimes trying to do a little bit too much as the friendly bounce goes for Rozier, and the lead is back to 5.
You know, Rozier is a guy, he can shoot the jump shot. He's going more to a leadership role, trying to be more of a distributor, passer.
Russ Smith called for the foul.
Rozier averaged 28 points a game last year at Hargrave Military Academy, where they produced so many great players.
And Smith's going to sit down. Henderson back in. Rick Pitino is not happy with Russ Smith tonight.
He's always motivated. Russ is a guy that really is an intriguing guy, but he knows where he's coming from. And Rick knows for them to win, Smith's going to be on that floor.
And Pitino loves him. He tells him that. He tells everybody that. But this has not been a vintage, Rusticulous kind of night. Chroma the kick. Daniels for 3. Harrell another rebound.
Chroma did a great job creating that opportunity for Daniels.
Hancock gets it back.
There's that fake again.
What a play. What a drive by Luke Hancock.
What a terrific play with that fake. That fake reminds me of a guy that uses a lot is the kid from Michigan, Staskis. Great fake. You guys got to use that fake, kids watching out. There's the reverse layup with the left hand on the glass. See that little pump fake? That pump fake is magic.
Boy, we've said it before, but Hancock looks like a different guy than he looked like in November and early December.
He looked pretty good in the game we had against Memphis.
Yep.
That game was won at the end in the last 2 minutes when it was all Memphis. Made their free throws and made big plays. That quiets the crowd right there, Hancock.
So Memphis wins at Louisville. UConn wins at Memphis. And now Louisville's leading at UConn.
Try to figure it out.
It's going to be an interesting lead.
Try to figure it out.
And Cincinnati's leading the whole bunch. All of a sudden, 8-0 run after UConn had tied it.
And SMU and Larry Brown, a very dangerous team.
Not this time for Napier, and Hancock in between a couple of Huskies comes down with a rebound.
I think the Huskies are going too much for the perimeter jump shot.
Right into the chest of Grima, and it's an offensive foul
and it was a
on
good
Hancock.
Call.
A good call.
It was a legitimate good call. He definitely leaned into the defensive player.
Timeout on the floor. All Louisville the last couple of minutes to break the time, go back up by 8 here with the home of the Huskies, Gamble Pavilion.
Luke Hancock has exploded. Peyton Siva having a monster game. Their first championship since 1986.
They are the defending national champions. They started the season ranked 3rd in the country. Lost to North Carolina and Kentucky in non-conference play. Dismissed Shane Behannon. Lost at home to Memphis. So they're 0-3 against ranked teams this year. 15-0 against unranked teams. Do we know at this point, Dickie V, how good this Louisville team is?
Well, you know, the bottom line is they're going to be a tough out, but they certainly don't have the presence they had last year. When you had Behannon to the lineup, you had Jang with his shot blocking ability, Siva as a distributor. You're taking a lot of parts away, and then you factor in Kevin Ware and his athletic ability not there. So they're going to try and do it other ways. They'll be dangerous, but right now you look at teams across America, you'd have to give an edge over them.
Kevin Ware, by the way, is unlikely to play again this year. The Cardinals will seek a medical red shirt for him after that horrific leg injury last year. He did play some at the beginning of the year, but never really got back to being anywhere close to what he was. And they're hoping he'll have a full recovery and be a big part of the backcourt next year for the Cardinals.
There's that matchup. They try to match up. They communicate. Try to find a guy. When you say matchup, you want to get right in the face of a player. Don't want him to get into gaps and seams.
Boat right challenges, can't finish. Louisville ball.
Combination, really, you're playing man and zone. You talk about a zone, you play an area of the floor. For people out there who maybe aren't familiar with all the technical aspects of the game.
And the foul going against Connecticut. Omar Calhoun. Here's what we were talking about before, how Louisville has lost all 3 of their games against ranked teams this year. North Carolina, Kentucky, and Memphis. They've beaten everybody else. They don't have a so-called big name or signature win so far this year. This would be one, although Connecticut is not ranked, to win a game against a quality opponent on the road in your league. This would be the biggest win they've had this year.
You know, we could say all of that, Dan, but the bottom line is they're 15-3.
Yeah.
They're 15-3. That's a pretty good record. Rick Pitino's going for his 680th win as a college coach. Can you imagine if he stayed there and didn't go to the NBA? He'd be at the 900 mark. Trying to show some patience against that zone. They got to flash people to the high post. Use the post a little more.
Gaffai. And we've got a little pushing and shoving underneath, and it's going to go against Connecticut. I think it's Brima who gets called for the foul.
And that's been a problem for him early in his career, getting in foul trouble.
ESPN's Journey to the Tourney is a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. Indiana's at East Lansing Tuesday night to take on the 4th-ranked team of the nation, the Michigan State Spartans, with another one of the great guards. You're going to see 2 more great guards in this game in Yogi Ferrell and Keith Appling.
Yeah, I love Appling. You know, Michigan State played without Adrian Payne again, 2 games in a row, and he's so talented.
Speaking of talented, Smith will get one to fall, and the lead grows to double digits tonight for the Cardinals.
And that's what he does really well. Take the ball, change direction, split the defense. Former Archbishop Malloy, high school superstar from out of New York, and produced where Kenny Smith came from. John Roach, a lot of great players over the years, played for Jack Curran.
Boy, this half began with Connecticut scoring the first 6 points to tie it. Rick Pitino called the timeout at about the 18:30 mark, and as you can see, ever since then, it has been all Louisville, an 11-0 run.
And he hasn't been afraid to take out Smith, the All-American, if he wasn't happy with his play.
Napier with the drive and draws a foul.
And that's what he's got to do. He's going to use his ability to get to the basket, create foul situations.
Van Treese the foul for Louisville.
You know, Connecticut has eligible next year. Rodney Purvis came to round of North Carolina State. Wow, what a whipping today. They're going to be by 35.
95-60. Duke defeated North Carolina State today.
Well,
Jabari Parker had, what, 23?
Yeah, he had a big game for them. Bench came through as well. I'm going to have their game Wednesday, and it will not be Cupcake City. They're playing Miami. I think Jimmy Larinaga is getting the most out of his people. Almost beat Syracuse. Today he won by 14 on the road against Georgia Tech.
They lost almost everybody from last year's team. 2 free throws for Napier.
They're going to make something happen defensively, going to full court pressure. Kevin Ollie was a tenacious battler when he played. Got the most of his ability, came out of Crenshaw High School.
You know, even after Ollie left UConn and went to the NBA, Jim Calhoun, his coach, would talk to the next generation of players and saying, look at what Kevin Ollie's done. Look at what he's accomplished as a collegiate, as a pro, with his level of ability. If you got more of those intangibles, the heart, the determination, the unselfishness, all of those things can help you be a better player, because Kevin Ollie did this, and he didn't keep bouncing from team to team to team because people didn't want him. Teams picked him up because he could help the stars. He was a great blender, a great bench player. He helped you win games.
Absolutely. Great role player, great in the locker room. His son right now is a gifted quarterback on the high school level, going to go to prep school. He said no, he's not playing basketball. He went to Crenshaw out in L.A., produced Marcus Johnson there, Stevie Thompson, who played out the Syracuse, and a great baseball player.
Daryl Strawberry.
Mr. Strawberry.
Yeah, Wendell Tyler.
Yeah, Strawberry is a pretty good shooter in basketball as well.
Connecticut creeping closer at the free throw line.
Well, they're going to the basket. They're starting to drive a little more, and their quickness to the basket creates problems. But they've been really passive trying to shoot threes. I think when you look at Rick Pitino's career, what I've observed about him, he's been a master at changing the rhythm of games with his defensive alignment, changing the rhythm, never allowing you to get into a real kind of flow. 1 minute he's playing half-court defense, zone, then he's playing man-to-man.
Blackshear with a putback.
Offensive glass again, really hurting the Huskies tonight.
Napier with the ball, and the last 7 Connecticut points.
Oh, you got foul right there.
Boy, no call.
No call.
Kevin Ollie just got teed up.
Oh, my. Don't compound it. Don't compound it.
And he's out.
Now. He's doubly compounded. That is absolutely a no-no. He missed the call right in front of him. The kid got fouled. The coach stood up for his player, and you're going to bang him twice and nail him out of the arena. That is a no-no. I think Mike Stewart compounded a scenario. I think sometimes if a guy with a striped shirt, you got to really eat the whistle and allow a coach to have a beef. Allow him to have a little beef. He had a right for a beef there, Dan.
So 2 technicals, an ejection, 4 free throws for Louisville.
What's your feeling? I mean, right there. Look at the contact. You're going to tell me you don't have a right?
Yeah.
You don't have a right to fight for your player there. I mean, come on now.
That's a foul. Yeah.
Come on.
That's a
Come
foul.
on. And then you're going to compound it by nailing him. He's fighting for what's right, his team. Players respect that over their leader, their coach.
So Blackshear misses the first 2. He doesn't seem to realize he's got 2 more coming. And now
I'm making a change.
Yeah, now they're going to change and put Smith there.
See, I could understand. Okay, people say, well, he got emotional, he got in a rough space. But sometimes you as an official, the good ones, the great ones, they have a comprehension for that. And they know when they really, and maybe on the next trip down, say, Coach, calm down, I'm going to get you. Calm down, I'm going to get you. But you don't bang him twice like that quickly when there's an error on your part.
The only thing I can think of that Stewart must have felt is that Gaffey leaned into Blackshear to create the contact because you're entitled, rule of verticality and all that. But I agree with you. I don't think there's any question that that was a foul. And Ollie got teed up twice in a hurry. Got run from the game, and now presumably Glenn Miller, the associate head coach, he is taking over. He's kneeling at the end of the bench right now. There's a foul on Napier. Napier clapping his hands in sarcastic fashion, it looked like, after that call, and the atmosphere has turned ugly here in Stores.
Well, there's no doubt that Napier fouled him right there. It's a silly foul on his part. There's a lot of frustration.
Bonus already. Both ways, 12:56 to go.
They're going to calm down their emotions now and get set. A lot of time on the clock. You're going to start playing basketball. Putting them on a free throw line right there was unnecessary. Giving them easy points. I mean, 40. You're about 70 feet from the basket. That's a silly play for a veteran player.
Boy, think of how different it would have been if the foul is called against Louisville.
Absolutely.
Gaffai shooting free throws. Louisville doesn't get the 2 points on the technicals. Ollie doesn't get kicked out of the game. Napier probably doesn't commit the frustration foul.
Dan, I've sung the praises of the guys in the striped shirts. It's a tough job, and they do basically a great job. But when there's an error like that, you got to speak about it.
Gaffai has it knocked away from behind. Louisville with a double-digit lead. Blackshear back to Smith. Now the crowd wants to travel. Wanted to call on Blackshear. Rozier, nice look. Blackshear. And Gaffai is going to get called for a foul.
He gave a little push. He gave a little push. Brian O'Connell with that call. Good call. There's no question. Gaffai pushed off.
And here comes Daniels back into the game for Gaffai. Not for Gaffai. Excuse me. Yeah, it is good for Gaffai. Yep.
They're going to start controlling himself emotionally right now, Connecticut. Giving him too many simple opportunities at the free throw line for no reason.
Well, this really seems to have galvanized the Louisville players as well.
Oh, they're in great shape right now. I mean, here you're on the road, kind of commanding lead.
Look at the look in their eye. You can see from the clapping and the look in their eye. I mean, they sense that they can move in for the kill right now, the way that this one has changed.
They've got a lot of good trips here recently to Connecticut.
Beat them in Hartford last year and beat them here at Ganful each of the 2 years prior.
One was in overtime. If Connecticut's going to win, a couple of things have to happen. They got to get, Daniels has been a no-show thus far here in the second half. And he's too passive with those 2 fouls. And they got to do a better job defensively, creating some turnovers and getting some layups. They got to pick it up on the defensive end.
And there, wait. A double dribble is the call, says Ted Valentine.
Teddy Valentine was really right there with that double dribble.
Timeout on the floor. One more look at the play that has changed this game and certainly changed the atmosphere here in this building. No foul call against Louisville. Ollie ejected. Cardinals with a double-digit lead. And thank you, Kemba Walker, of course, leading UConn to the national championship back to the 2010-11 season. Well, it's been a little controversial and very noisy here recently. Shannon Spake was near the Connecticut huddle.
Yeah, Dan, Associate Head Coach Glenn Miller was addressing the team. You know, the first couple seconds, it was all about the offense. He was asking them why they were running certain plays, why they were in certain formations. And then he looked at them, all of them, and he said, you have got to keep your poise. You cannot go haywire, do your own thing. You got to control yourself.
I agree with you, Shannon. He's doing a great job for us. That word poise, they lost their poise there for about a 2-minute cycle, and they put guys on a foul line that shouldn't have been on the line.
Boatwright and action by Mathiang. UConn scored the first 6 points of the half to tie it at 34. Since then, they've been outscored 18-4. They've made only 1 field goal. Here in the second half, great backdoor feed from Harrell to Blackshear, and right now the Cardinals are toying with the Huskies.
Wow, terrific pass right there by Harrell, but a great cut by Blackshear. The defense of Louisville has really stepped up here. They've been, as you said earlier, they've really responded since the technicals.
It's a 7-0 run right now since Kevin Ollie was teed up and ejected. Nearly a steal by Smith. Boatwright, Olander. Very good patience on the inside.
Did a great job, hesitating, got himself free, used the left hand. And they got to dig in on the defensive side, man. You got to show some passion, some pride. You're at home. Right now, Louisville's playing like they're at home.
Blackshear posting up, and down with the rebound is Chroma.
I think it's a great coaching move, bringing him off the bench.
Daniels. Oh, and what a block by Mathiang.
Mathiang, great shot block right there. Thou shalt not enter thy lane. This is Cry. That's the catch. That's the reverse. And there's the get it out of here, baby. Rejection City right there. Like a human eraser. He's going to be a good player. Yep. You saw the development of Jang. I mean, he came from nowhere. And this kid here has got a great attitude. He's going to work hard. He's got great size. He's got coaches that understand how to teach. He's going to be a very good player.
Nearing the midway point of the second half, 14-point lead, make it 12 as Boatwright flies to the basket.
Well, he utilized that great quickness, explosiveness, rather than be a little passive. See, I think the 2-3 zone has made them passive.
And another Connecticut foul. It's on Chroma.
And see where it took place? 80 feet from the basket.
On a Monday, we've got a special holiday edition of the NBA on ESPN. On Martin Luther King Day, it'll be the Nets and the Knicks at 2:30 Eastern Time. Also available live on Watch ESPN.
And two teams going in two different directions. I mean, the Nets playing a lot better right now. The Knicks, they went on a little run, now struggling again.
Double bonus already for Louisville with better than 10 minutes to go in the half. Back into the game now for Connecticut, Omar Calhoun. Speaking of Brooklyn, he's from there. Pretty good looking stroke for Mathiang, just 56% on the season, but knocks them both down.
There's that full court pressure. They take a lot of pride in their defense. One of the keys why they won the national title last year.
And Napier is fouled. And you can hear the cheer. That's Mike Stewart, the official who made the call. It was Stewart who did not make the call, or made the non-call, if you will, and then teed up Kevin Ollie. And everybody in the crowd knows exactly which official made that call. So they are sarcastically applauding the call that he made against Louisville. Let's go back to Shannon.
Well, Dan, after the loss to Houston and SMU, this UConn team, Napier, sorry guys, Napier, he told me that they really started to doubt themselves. They started to wonder if they had the drive. And when they won against Memphis, it not only proved to other people, but it proved to them that they were tough and they could get it done. He told me that they did have some momentum coming into this game.
They better be tough right now because Shannon, they really got to step it up. I mean, you're down to 9 minutes and change, and I don't see any kind of real life out of them. Look at the bounce of the step to Smith.
Being defended by Napier. Here's Hancock using the screen. And count the basket and a foul for Luke Hancock.
You know what Hancock does exceptionally well? We talk about the ball fake, but I'll give you number 2 what he does. He spots an opening in the defense and he knows how to attack. He immediately attacks as soon as he sees a seam, an opening, a gap. He gets right in that gap.
We mentioned struggled early, the Achilles injury, didn't practice much, scoring almost 17 a game in conference play. He's got 11 tonight. Boatwright with a 10-footer knocks it down.
Good attack mode right there. Got himself a little short jump shot. Now they got to try to make something happen defensively. Rozier's done a pretty good job protecting the basketball. Not putting many points on the board, but he's been a facilitator.
Getting a lot of minutes with Chris Jones out.
You like that word, facilitator? I like that. That's pretty good for me. It's more than 2 syllables.
Screen by Mathiang. Hancock looking for an opening again. Boy, he's always under control, always head up. Harrell's had a huge night, and it gets even a little bit bigger.
He's getting better and better and better. You can just see the confidence in his game. Gets in deep in the post, has that little turnaround over the left shoulder.
18 points, 10 rebounds, and has only missed 1 shot. Another drive and score for Boatwright, who's showing some toughness.
Yeah, he really is. Playing with a heavy heart. His cousin, who's so close to, was recently killed on Monday over the Aurora, Illinois. Violence, violence. Why is there so much violence? Oh, he turned and lost sight of the ball.
Hancock took a shot to the nose, it looked like, from Calhoun. And may have had some blurred vision or some discomfort, and he turned his back on the play, and the pass went out of bounds.
Took Matthew out after that pass. Rick Pitino's a master on the sideline. You don't win like he's done all those years. That's a great teacher.
And now he's going to call his players over. The officials are going to go to the monitor to look at that play where Hancock was struck to see if potentially a flagrant foul is in order. So it's right at the bottom of your screen. And it looked like Calhoun was just trying to fight through a screen from Harrell, and the left hand came up inadvertently and caught Hancock right on the nose.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional at all. No. He was trying to get over the top of the screen rather than go third man. And there he is trying to fight over the top, made contact. Head turn, and the ball comes, and it's turnover city.
And the officials very quickly decide that nothing out of the ordinary there, so no foul call.
You know, I have to really commend Mike Oresco, the commissioner of this conference, because really it was in disarray with all the teams leaving, the Big East teams, breaking up the league. And he did really, I thought, an outstanding job keeping it in focus and keeping it together.
This is a good league.
It's a good league.
Yeah. Now they're going to lose Louisville next year. That's a big hit. But this year, it's a good league.
It's a good league, and I'll try to get a little more of identity in terms of some matchups. Right now, people aren't familiar with some of these teams.
Counted and a foul for Napier.
Napier and Boatwright going to pick up their score. There he is right here, the All-American, and he will be an All-American. There he is right there, good head fake. Certainly one of the top 10 players in the nation.
Rozier the foul. He goes to the bench. Napier, if he can knock down the free throw, going to make it a 10-point game. Knew he missed it, tried to follow it. Still 21 points already for Napier. They got to get some front court scoring. As you said, they got to get Daniels going.
Yeah, Daniels is really quiet. That's really been a difference maker. He has really, what's he got, one basket all night, basically?
Harrell has dominated that matchup. And again, Daniels missed a lot of time in the first half with foul trouble. Smith. What a big shot for Smith. And it's ruled a 3. 63-49 Louisville.
Well, he was under control right there. He made my midseason All-American team, along with Doug McDermott, Marcus Smart, C.J. Fear, Jabari Parker, and I put Nick Johnson on there as well. Napier would have been our next choice.
Boatwright had it knocked away, got it back, and brings it out of trouble.
He'd help right there. You like Johnson from down in Arizona?
He's terrific. Oh, is he good?
Yeah,
he does everything. He's like Napier. He does everything. Daniels, no. And a Connecticut foul.
See, I think psychologically, the 2 fouls really took Daniels away from the game.
Louisville up by 14. 7:11 to go, second half here in stores.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball.
Dug deep into the archive, Shannon, to find some Russ Smith footage from way back when.
We sure did, Dan. Take a look at this video of Russ Smith. He's about 7 years old, and as you can see, he already has the moves. His dad is here tonight, Russ Smith Sr. He put the ball in Russ Smith's hand when he was 3 years old. Now, it's just the 3rd game that Big Russ has been to all season, but really his son turns to him all the time. And he told me, I spoke with him on the phone today, he told me he was one of the biggest supporters of Smith coming back to school and finishing his senior year. He actually worked with his son all summer long, becoming more of a complete player. He told his son, he said, listen, we all know you can score. It's the other part of your game you really have to work on. They worked on a lot of drills, penetrating kick-out drills, being a complete player, and this is one proud dad.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Great job. And that's great footage. Awesome footage of Russ Smith as a 7-year-old.
You know what I really love about it? A dad showing great love for his son. Not just bringing a child in the world and forgetting about him, but being active with him, helping him develop, helping him grow. Sure, tremendous. Make him Father of the Year.
Smith tonight with 13, but he's had to work hard for those 13. But Montrezl Harrell's had a huge night as well. Blackshear misses them both. Boy, Blackshear missed 2 taken the technical free throws, and now he misses 2 more.
I mean, think about where it would be if they make those free throws.
And he's 83% on the season coming into the game.
Stay in that zone, make sure you take some time off the clock. That plays in the favor of Louisville.
Daniels the kick, Boatwright the 3.
And here comes Louisville, run baby run.
Smith comes out of the scrum and makes a good decision.
Bring the ball out. He's always in an attack mode. One thing about Smith, when he catches the ball, he's thinking attack, attack, attack.
And you could say the same for Napier and Boatwright on the other side. You got to have your wits about you and some quick feet to defend these guys.
Well, the one thing hurt Connecticut, very little on the interior. Not getting any point production inside.
Harrell, good-looking jump hook, but it rolls off the rim. Loose ball to Smith. Inside Van Treese, the kick, Blackshear. Connecticut ball.
Did everything right except score. Moved the ball, made the extra pass. Very unselfish. You want to be a winner as a team. You got to be unselfish. You got to understand shot selection, and you got to communicate with one another defensively. You got to play as a rhythm as a team. We're going to get 3 unbeaten teams in college basketball.
Arizona, Syracuse, Wichita State. The Orange and the Shockers both winning today. Boatwright again.
I love the way he drives to the goal. He's from IMG Academy as well down there in Bradenton, Florida.
Boatwright into double figures as UConn will use a timeout.
Has that drive on a baseline. Good fake, protect the ball, square your body. You go to the goal there, kids, square your body to the basket. Use that glass.
Got a doubleheader coming your way on Big Monday. It begins with an ACC game as the North Carolina Tar Heels take on Virginia. That's the game where Jeff Van Gundy is going to join Sean McDonough and Jay Billis to call a college game. And then Baylor and Kansas. Andrew Wiggins has had some big games lately. Joel Embiid had a big game today for the Jayhawks as they beat Oklahoma State. Great doubleheader coming your way Monday night.
You know, Jimmy Dykes said, and I couldn't agree more. In fact, I put it on Twitter. I think Embiid right now would be my first pick if I was making a pick in the NBA draft. His potential and upside. They told us, Bill Self told us. He said earlier in the year, he said, you're going to see this kid later. You people are going to be shocked. And he has proven that right now.
And some people get better year by year or month by month. As Jay Billis said on Game Day earlier tonight, Joel Embiid is getting better day by day right now. He had 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 blocks this afternoon.
8 blocks.
8 blocks.
He's getting better minute by minute, maybe second by second. And his bank account's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger than yours and mine put together.
12-point lead, 5.5 to go.
Got away with a push right there, trying to drive at the left arm.
Smith and Boatwright. Tough shot, rejected by Boatwright.
Not a good possession right there by Louisville or by Smith. He forced that.
And the pass deflected out of bounds, still Husky ball.
I can't believe how passive. I heard nothing but rave reviews about Daniels coming here this afternoon, tonight rather, and we have not seen it.
He has been dominated by Montrezl Harrell and bothered by foul trouble in the first half. A guy coming off a 23-point, 11-rebound game just 48 hours ago at Memphis has done nothing close to that here tonight. Let's take a look now at who's in the groove, brought to you by new Cheez-It Grooves. And tonight, without question, Montrezl Harrell, Dick, has been in the groove all night long.
Oh, he's been in the groove. He's been very active. He's been a difference maker because they've had no one to answer him on the interior. None. I mean, even if Smith plays well, or a guy like, let's say, Blackshear or Harrell, right there on the inside has been unstoppable. But if Smith plays well, on the bottom line is they can negate that with Napier. But they've had nobody inside to negate Harrell.
The L at the end of Montrez is silent. That's the only thing about Harrell that has been silent here tonight. 18 points and 11 rebounds, 8 for 10 from the floor.
He wanted to go to North Carolina as a kid, visited down there, but they never really made him the offer. Can't make an offer to everybody. You get so many players you can bring in.
Napier, a little shake and bake, left hand. No basket, no basket.
Good call by Teddy Valentine. Can't interfere up on that rim.
There was a foul.
Prior to them, I think the foul was earlier. He's the drive to the goal. It's ball screen. Good shoulder fake. A great job of the shoulder fake.
Fourth foul on Van Treese. Napier to the line for 2 free throws. He's had some huge games. A 26-point game against Florida, including the game-winning basket. Boy, that's so quiet in here all of a sudden.
Wow, that's silent.
27 against Indiana, 27 against Houston. Blackshear back in for Van Treese.
He's been solid all year. We talked about it several times tonight. Leading the team in rebounding is amazing.
Yep, better than 6 a game for a 6'1" guard.
You know, Rick Pitino raved about him to me, so there's no doubt he'll play at the next level. I think he's right.
23 for Napier.
If they're going to make a run, it has to happen now, man. It got to happen now. You're at winning time. You're down 10. You're at home. You got to dig it in and suck it up and try to get a little spark. The crowd wants it to happen. Great hustle right there. Great hustle.
Napier showing he's not just about glamour stats. He's working hard at the defensive end and trying to save that as well.
Well, he's trying to set a job for his teammates. Come on, guys. I'm going to give it all. You got to join me. And if they're going to make it happen, they're going to make it happen defensively. Stepping passing lanes, deep cutters to the ball.
Hancock. The 3. Rozier would down with the offensive rebound and draws the foul and will shoot a couple.
You can't allow a guard to come to the glass and get the offensive rebound. You're down 10. You got a missed shot. You got to come up with that ball. And watch this. There's the missed shot. And look at Rozier. He comes in. Nobody puts a body on him. A complete lane to the goal.
And Napier called for his 4th foul.
Everyone wants to show their great jumping ability. And if you get the most unbelievable basic element that coaches teach and talk about, block out. First assignment, find your guy and get a body on him.
And Glenn Miller, so you can see the rebounding disparity and how Louisville has taken advantage of that on the inside. Glenn Miller, the associate head coach who is acting as the head coach right now with Kevin Ollie ejected, has taken Napier out after the 4th foul, and you got to believe he's going to come right back in as soon as they get to the under 4 media timeout.
Oh, absolutely. You better get him on the floor, man. You're down 11. You better put that superstar out there.
Boatwright hangs, misses, tipped up, no good. Gaffai is there.
Nice hustle by Gaffai. Again, nobody blocked him out. You can stay there all day long. The art of blocking out is a non-issue.
They've got it down to single digits.
They'll stay in front of him. You got to really work hard. He's tough to stay in front of.
And the foul on Boatwright.
They're calling a foul. The book says you call that right now. That's a legitimate call.
And a glare from Boatwright in Ted Valentine's direction. The Cardinals with the lead in conference play. The big story of this game, I think, the headline is going to be the non-foul call, the ejection of Kevin Ollie, what that did to UConn for a few minutes after that. And Louisville got out to about a 14-15 point lead. It's down to 9 now, but less than 4 minutes to go.
Well, I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I think psychologically the 2 fouls on Daniels took him out of the game. Mentally, he's been an absolute no-show here in the second half. First half, he didn't play a lot of minutes, but he's on the floor in the second half, and he's been very passive.
Russ Smith just 4 for 12 from the field tonight, but he does have 14 points as he's gone to the free throw line. He's made now 5 of 7. Gaffai down with a rebound. And UConn's kind of trading 2 for 1 and then a 3 for 2. They're getting back into it, but they're still down 10 with 3:47 to go.
And that clock is moving. They got to get Gaffai an open look for a 3. That's a guy that can flat out shoot it better than 50%.
Chroma. And down with a rebound is Blackshear.
Shot selection really important now for Louisville.
And Napier did not come back into the game.
Yeah, I don't understand. He's coming
now
back
he's
right
coming
now.
in now. Yep.
I don't understand that. I mean, one of the better players in America. You're in trouble at home. Can't save him for practice. I mean, what are you saving for?
Boatwright knocks it away, and Connecticut has it.
Got to push for a score right here.
Spinning, dishing, and Brima's fouled hard. I think it's actually going to go on Hancock, although it looked like Harrell was in on it too.
That's a good foul. Because really putting him on the free throw line, not a great free throw shooter, and he had a slam dunk. A tremendous play by Bo Wright right there, showing his great quickness and his skills.
And it is Hancock.
And to make him shoot free throws. Hey, it's great being here today, seeing a lot of friends. Mike Soltis in the house, VP of ESPN. Tomo Jackson, who's with the conference here, used to be with us at ESPN, does a terrific job. Carl Ravage, baseball guy up in the stands as well. And I'm really happy Bruce Ferris is here, one of my buddies who does a phenomenal job in giving us money and sponsoring to the V Foundation, one of the major sponsors of my gala.
Bryma gets them both.
He made them both. He said, forget about those stats. They're down 8, man. They're down 8. They got to get a stop right here. The crowd wants it. Gamble is alive. They're trying to get good shots right here. Smith, experienced player. Oh, a little bit out of control right there.
And a foul call on Chroma. Hedging out on the screen.
And they were calling it. That is right now being defined. They want to call that foul to eliminate physical contact. Whether people believe it or not, that's in the book. The officials are doing what they were told that must be done.
And Smith back at the line.
It's nice when you got guards that can make free throws. When you're coming down the stretch, so many games determined by the charity stripe.
Made them both. Napier. Got it!
Big three. Big three. Big player, big three. See, I know what Coach Miller was thinking with Napier. So look, I don't want to get him his fifth. I want to get him on the floor with 4 minutes left. Still time on that clock, man. Plenty of time. Down to 7. 3 for 2, baby. We'll take 3. We'll give you 2.
Not an easy shot at all.
No, not at all. But great players make tough shots. Well, Kevin Durant the other day, 54. I put a tweet up very simple. Say J.D. Trey Bob equals MVP.
Monday night, something good for you here as North Carolina takes on Virginia, part of the big Monday doubleheader. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Jeff Van Gundy is going to make his annual appearance in the booth on a college game, joining Sean McDonough, Jay Billis for North Carolina, Virginia, big Monday, presented by Verizon, 7 Eastern, right here on ESPN.
I tell you what, man, he does a great job in the NBA, Jeff. He and Mike Breen are terrific. Sean McDonough, Syracuse, he's smiling right now. Tarico, they're smiling. John Wildhack, Bus, they're smiling. I mean, Syracuse undefeated, a tougher with Pittsburgh.
That was a hard-earned victory over Pittsburgh up at the Carrier Dome today.
There comes the defense right now. You don't want to foul. Play tough defense. Don't put them on a charity stripe for easy baskets. Need a stop right here. Plenty of time on that clock if they can get a stop here.
Hancock with 10 to shoot.
Oh, he does a great job.
He leaned into Daniels. And a good no call there, and it's Connecticut ball.
Excellent no call by Teddy Valentine. Excellent.
That one was much different than the G5 play.
Absolutely. Totally different. Let's see some penetration by Bo Wright. There it is. Oh, they come up empty. He had the right idea.
Oh, bodies flying, and it's Louisville ball. And Blackshear shaken up.
He's had injuries throughout his career.
There was a big-time mid-air collision, and Blackshear's going to need some help.
He got hurt seriously on a high school level. Was out for quite a while. Good intention right there by Bo Wright with the lob, and he can't convert.
Chroma colliding with Blackshear as they both went for that loose ball. And it looked like the right hip of Chroma into the left hip area of Blackshear.
Looks like it'll be fine.
So Van Treese back into the game for Blackshear as Louisville gets bigger.
You know, we talk about a winning player. Here's a guy that Blackshear starts almost every game. Now goes to the bench as a 6th man, but he responds. He responds to the challenge. It's about the team, and his minutes have actually increased. That's coaching, understanding the mentality of a player when you make a decision like that.
UConn's going to pressure.
Going to go to a trap, trying to traps on the perimeter.
Hancock handles the pressure. Baseline jumper is good for Russ Smith. Smith now with 18.
Constantly makes big plays. Last 5 games, averaging 21 points a game.
And Napier is fouled. It's double bonus both ways, so it's 2 free throws the rest of the way for both teams.
And that's good news right there for Connecticut. Stops the clock, gets some points, and allows you to align into your defensive set. You know, using the glass by some of these players, really effective. John Wooden used to teach that always at UCLA. Want to read more about Wooden? Go get Seth Davis's book. I'm telling you, he did an outstanding job. The book is called Wooden.
Napier with 27 points in this game.
That's full court pressure. See, allows him to get into a press. Can't trade baskets though, man. Can't trade baskets with 1.5 minutes on the clock. See, smart, intelligent, veteran, bring the ball back out. Clock is on their side. Run that clock out. Protects the ball really well.
And a timeout taken by Rick Pitino.
See, Rick Pitino might be a little nervous now. He'll be much more nervous tomorrow watching his son's game against Iowa. Iowa's for real, but Minnesota, what a year to have it.
Well, if you weren't with us earlier, you'll see this later on tonight on SportsCenter.
You think?
Well, I would think. I would think.
You guys think?
The non-call there as Blackshear collided with Defy. Kevin Ollie livid, beyond livid, got teed up twice in about 2 seconds, so he got thrown out of the game.
You know, I don't know what he said. My only feeling is, and I said this during a situation when it happened, you make an error, you don't make the call. I think sometimes as an official, you got to take that whistle and you got to put it in your mouth. You got to say, you know what? I got to let him scream. I got to let him yell. I got to let him do whatever he wants because maybe I missed the call. And maybe the next time I walk down and say, hey, man, take it easy. Or I'm going to have to tee up. But I thought right there he compounded the situation. You made a mistake. You didn't blow the whistle on the foul. Then you hit him with one, and boom, the second one. Come on now. If I was referee, I'd hit you with some tees, baby. Bam, bam, bam. Out of here, Schumann.
The lead was 9 for Louisville when it happened, and immediately the Cardinals went on a 7-0 run. 2 of those points at the free throw line because they made 2 of the 4 technical free throws. So they got it up to 16. UConn's battled hard to get it back down into single digits, but the clock is their enemy right now as much as the Cardinals are.
And about 2 minutes sequence after that, though, they lost a little of their poise. Can't seem to get it under that 7 mark, though. Every time it seems to get there, a big basket comes or a free throw.
Shot clock winding down. Smith. And it hits Smith. It looked like on the way out of bounds, and it did. It's Connecticut ball.
Good call right there. Brian O'Connell with the call.
And Rick Pitino wants Rozier and Smith up, slowing down the guards, trying to chew up some seconds.
They're going to double up on the guards. He's been tough to the basket. All right.
Napier gets free. Tough shot.
Impossible shot. Totally impossible.
And now Smith will head to the free throw line.
All I heard coming down here, wait until you see DeAndre Daniels. You're going to be blown away, Dickie V. Well, I've watched him all night, and I haven't seen any of the kind of energy, enthusiasm, and the kind of effort you'd like to see from a star player. And I don't take this as a personal thing to him. I think he allowed the 2 fouls early when he went to the bench to get the best of him and take away his game.
And coming off arguably the best game that he's ever had, or at least this year, is now having maybe the worst game that he's had this year. SportsCenter comes your way.
Find out about Serena. I'm a tennis lover, man. Serena on the ropes. Wow, she's usually having a bad game. Her serve bails her out.
I want to see the hockey brawl.
Yeah, see, I know. You Canadians want to see the hockey. I want to see
John Saunders wants to see the hockey, bro.
Yeah, he wants to see the hockey. He was down in Philly today with Tim Legler. I thought they did a terrific job down there.
Great feature with Tim Legler on game day this morning.
Yeah,
from Palestra. Played at LaSalle, right? Talking about what it was like to go on a recruiting trip and go into the Palestra, one of the great venues in college basketball.
I will never forget my first trip to the Palestra, Princeton and Penn. Senator Bill Bradley had no tickets. I was outside, begged and pleaded, and I got into the building.
Back to 9 after a couple of free throws. Final minute here at Gamble. Looks like Louisville will pick up its first win, or its biggest win. Connecticut not ranked, but its biggest win of the season. And again, to set the scene for you in the American Conference right now, if this holds up, it means Louisville will have won at UConn. UConn will have won at Memphis, and Memphis will have won at Louisville. And Cincinnati's leading the league.
Cincinnati's in great shape.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has been doing a phenomenal job. Mick Cronin used to work for Rick Pitino.
Well, Mick Cronin quietly gets it done year after year. You talk about a program having an identity. Their identity is toughness, and they have that every year.
Absolutely. And they're getting great play out of Kilpatrick. Doing a fantastic job, more than just a shooter. It looks like they're going to have a nice journey back to Louisville with a big W.
Crowd now starting to file out here at the Gamble Pavilion after hopes were so high and the intensity and enthusiasm were off the charts at the beginning of the night. Louisville will be on the road again in its next game. The Cardinals will take on South Florida Wednesday, and then we'll have a week off. But Thursday the 30th on ESPN, they will host Cincinnati.
My buddy Jimmy Leland, who's a buddy of yours as well, I went to dinner with him the other night. He's going to the Louisville game in South Florida. He wants to meet Rick Pitino.
And another sarcastic cheers. There's a call on Louisville.
You know, Jim, we went out for dinner. All he wanted to talk about was college basketball.
That's funny.
All I wanted to talk about was A-Rod and baseball and all the baseball. I know one thing. He said Cabrera was a dream to coach with that bat.
What a great manager he was.
Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to have a big night statistically, but this kid's a winner. This kid wanted one other thing. He wanted a W, a win. You think about his year leading the team and scoring, rebounding.
New career high, 30 points tonight for Napier.
Steals, minutes played. He has earned that scholarship.
And a foul on Boatwright. Well, my home court week, a chance to showcase some of the great arenas around the country, and you've got a bucket list of places. These are places you haven't been?
Yeah, I haven't been to these places. I want to go to that arena down in Oregon. I've never been to Creighton, St. Joe's, man, Hawk Hill down there.
Our boss is here tonight. Why don't you say, how about a West Coast trip? San Diego State, Oregon, USC?
Well, USC right now is not a good basketball team, but they got a beautiful new facility. When they get players, I want to make that journey down there. San Diego State.
Let's go to San Diego.
Yeah, what a job. I love San Diego.
Napier has it knocked away.
Yeah, tell Jay Levy, get us to San Diego State. It's over. It's done. It's in the books. It's a W. It's 680 for Mr. Pitino.
And a 16-3 record for Louisville, 5-1 in the league. Connecticut's going to drop below 500 now in the American Conference at 2-3. After losing on its home court tonight for Louisville, Connecticut's next game will be in Hartford, not the home game, but in Hartford against Temple coming up this week when they'll try to get back to the 500 mark. So Louisville beats UConn 76-64. Russ Smith with 23, Shabazz Napier with 30 to lead all scores in this game. SportsCenter is coming up next here on ESPN. For Dick Vitale, Shannon Spake, and our entire Saturday night crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying thanks for watching, and now we'll send it back to the studio. Jay Harris and Robert Flores.